Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinglife.com. That is Dan Hall on the tiller, somewhere in the background I hope. I'm too scared to let go of the railing on the side of Tilly here for too long. And yeah, we're off boating as usual, so let's enjoy some scenery and have a chat. In a completely random twist in the usual video style, I am currently sat in my mum's bedroom doing this commentary, and I'm basically here with Dan Hall, who you have just seen in the background of that introduction clip, and we're going to grill him on his first narrowboating experiences. So then, up until a couple of weeks ago when you first came out on Tilly, had you ever been on a boat before? Let's get some background here.
No, that was my first time on a boat.
Right, so now that we've established that in a really awkward way for everybody listening, I don't know why I needed you to confirm that on the audio clip. So, how did it compare to your expectations and so on?
Well, when I first got on, I thought, oh, it's going to be really boring, really slow. And now I can see why you do it. It's really nice, peaceful, and just good fun.
One of the things I think something that I know that I'm stuttering and stammering now all over this video after that was your main concern before we started recording. On the slow topic, one of the things that I thought was quite interesting was on one of the trips we did in the last few days when that random lad was walking down the towpath, walked from up behind us and then went way off into the distance, and you were like, are we only travelling that fast? He's just walked away from us. That was something that I thought was fascinating, just from, because I'm obviously very familiar with how incredibly slow I tend to travel on Tilly. It was the fact that you had that moment of realisation of, hang on, we've been on this boat these last couple of trips and we've literally been going at like not even close to walking pace. Is that something that, in general, did you think when you thought it would be slow, would you be thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be not even close to walking pace?
Well, on the boat, it looked like we were going a lot faster than that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as you said, this bloke just come out of nowhere, and he wasn't even walking that fast. I'm like, hang on, is this... But on the boat itself, it felt like we were going really... Well, I felt like we were going fast, but we weren't going that fast at all. And then that puts in perspective then, how slow a boat does go.
Yeah, especially Tilly. You're on the tiller and I'm pouring water into the cooling system. It's a perfect team. So yeah, that was something that I just thought, that particular moment is what I stood out over these times that you've been on board. And how about steering and things like that? How did you find your initial attempts at getting to grips with the tiller? And
I find it quite nervous because not only is it a boat, it's your home that I'm controlling.
Yeah.
And being a bad driver, I didn't want to sink your home at all or anything like that. So going under the bridges, the narrow bridges, was really scary. But then once you're on the open, it's nice and easy.
Yeah.
And then you don't really think about, when you're controlling a boat or steering a boat, that left is right and right is left. And that for me was a bit foreign, like going on that and doing that. That felt really weird. But once you get used to it, and then it's plain sailing, as they say.
Lovely, excellent little use of a pun there too.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, he's a professional. So before he steals my entire channel and everything else, let's cut him off and that's the last we'll ever hear from him. Of course not. So yeah, basically this is entirely exactly as I intended this video to go. Me asking you questions and then interrupting you to talk about nonsense in between. So steering and the speed, I think, are two of the first things that you have to sort of realise and get used to. Is there anything just off the top of your head? I know that I should have prepared you beforehand for this. Any thoughts or anything that surprised you, or
just how nice it is.
Yeah. And
even the bike rides into town and that, how relaxing they are. Because I'm not sure if you ever think of before you start work, oh God, I've got a 4-mile bike ride to go into town to, and then I'm working all day, or just to get to the local shops. But there's something nice about that. For me, I thought that would be quite a trek. But then once you get on a bike, get speed going, and it's just really nice and relaxing. And it's not like your normal commute into work where you just walk around the corner or get in the car. You get to see all the beauty of the countryside before you even step foot into town, which there's a lot of countryside around Oz Street.
Yeah.
And then you get to see a good load of it before you even step into town, which I wish I had that lifestyle, if I'm honest.
See, that's exactly the sort of thing that I remember on the first trip out to the boat, and after we'd had that first general trip around up and down, I can't think, from by the Lion Keys up to the usual sort of mooring place by the Poacher's Pocket,
Right.
and you had that sort of, oh yeah, I can see why you do it and why you
don't
stop talking about it all the time and so on. And that, I think, again, as from the day that we really started talking properly at work, and it was clear to me that you just got a lot of the stuff that I got of like, oh yeah, going outside and so on. And when we were like, before you'd ever been to the boat, when we were going up to the race course and cutting across fields and finding secret lakes and all that, it's like you were saying a lot of these same sort of things that I've always like said of like, oh yeah, we're just out here doing nothing, and exactly that point when it comes to bike riding in and out of town to do things. It's like, as long as you don't get tons of punches like I did a couple of weeks ago, I had an emergency grandad pickup from halfway to the boat. It was well, it's all plain sailing, as you say. Oh, I'm panicking in this video. I'm letting the side down here. Sorry, folks. But just that bike riding in and out, particularly when you're going out from work, and you can just have that sort of general relaxing, oh yeah, we're in the middle of the countryside, and especially if you're working on Sundays where there's not much traffic about, or late nights when you're literally just in absolute silent country lanes and you might not see a car for 4 or 5 miles in a row. Yeah. I'm trying desperately not to leave any dead air, and everybody's looking good. Has it stopped? Isn't it loaded? So yeah, really, that's been an excellent introduction. You know what? You've put me to shame with how incredibly well you have spoken on this video. Right, on that note, well, everything is going well in this recording, or certainly on your part, other Dan. I will say, let's fetch things to a close. So, I thought it'd be quite interesting just to do this different style episode where we get somebody else's opinion for once, and well, certainly from a complete boating novice's point of view, just to anybody out there who's never been on a boat, or maybe doesn't live anywhere local by a margin of maybe thousands of miles from the nearest canal and narrowboat to them. I thought it might answer a few questions that you might have had. So, on that note, just before we go and wrap things up, I just want to give somebody a shout out that I said I would give a shout out on Twitter too, and that is the people at floatbyboat.co.uk who do, and I just want to point out at this point, this isn't a sponsorship, or I'm not being paid for this, but if anybody does want to pay me to say things, then please do get in touch and feel free. That would be most welcome. But I just wanted to give them a shout out because they do canal holidays, but they're sort of quite a different style, and they do liveaboards, life sort of experience holidays, and meditation holidays, all sorts of stuff. So I just wanted to give floatbyboat.co.uk a shout out. As I say, don't worry, this isn't a massive sort of selling out or plug or financial thing, it's just a general friendly thing. Anyway, on that note, I suppose I will do all the usual plugs. Say, thanks for tuning in, I hope you've enjoyed the random video clips and this quick chat. If you want more of it, and if you want more 2 Dan videos, then please do leave a comment and let me know. Otherwise, I will make sure that he gets the axe and we don't see him on the airwaves ever again. So, now that I've said that ridiculously brutal statement, I'll say thank you very much for tuning in. Feel free to add me on Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff, or like the Facebook page. Feel free to check out all the other videos for loads of boating bits and pieces like this. All sorts of other outdoorsy stuff, biking and kayaking and goodness knows what else. And of course, check out my books available for the Kindle. Just search Amazon for The Narrowboat Lad, or find links to everything just mentioned in the description below. Anyway, I will let Dan say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And I will say, as usual, keep it boat worthy and farewell.